We're being watched.
We're back.
Hi, everybody. It has been a hot minute. Welcome back to another episode of Tumbleweeds and Tombstones. We've missed you. Thank you for those of you who have been liking and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully you've been enjoying the little short videos that Danny's been posting. Whew!
I've been having fun rewatching the stuff that we say.
Right? We're damn entertaining. Yep, Miranda and I got married, did the whole honeymoon thing. She liked it, so she put a ring on it. So
I love the fact that somehow in the real world we ended up with fires and plague squirrels, and it wasn't in game.
I can neither confirm nor deny my prophetic abilities that I exercise on this channel. I mean, I did summon the wind for dramatic effect that one night, so... Anyway,
True. I miss our outdoor games.
Right. Well, yeah, big news to the fans at home. We are looking to move to being in person again, which means getting to play in Chad's backyard. So we're still working out a couple of the bugs and making sure everything's going to work on a technical aspect, but we should be able to get to play in person again. For the most part, we will still have Walter from a distance.
From a distance.
Actually, my middle and last names.
Yes. This will be a short game tonight. Real life things came up and we had to take care of some positive business, but we're hoping to get back into the swing of playing at our regular time and regular sessions. So, because we need it just as much as you guys do, let's jump into a recap of what we did the last time we played a little bit over a month ago. So, when last we joined with the Obsidian Spurs, you guys are still gearing up, ready to fight the Guru, the werewolf protectors of this land, who have been taken over by Ichitai, the son of the last chief, who you now know murdered his father, or at least had him murdered, stealing his mystical eyes from his skull and pinning the horrendous crime on all of you. Given that you are already natural enemies of the Lupines, this was an easy sell. However, you do have one young man who is of their numbers by the name of Pita, who knows that you guys are innocent, who has agreed to help you all take out the leaders responsible for this, starting a civil war among the werewolves and thus achieving your goals in return for a guarantee of safe passage of his tribe's exodus from the area. You guys got yourself a gossip mill by Liam Ghouling, the local... Oh God, what was her name?
Just literally watch the game too. Shit. Here I am.
I don't know. We'll look it up.
It's gone. The name's just gone.
Yep.
As if by magic.
Her name is now Gertrude. Liam, put that down somewhere.
Wow.
So anyway, Ghouled her without telling her what she is. You guys dabbled in Noah summoning every turkey vulture in southern Texas to hang out in your guys' front yard for a bit. He ghouled he at least fed blood to a turkey vulture. Now he just has to find that same turkey vulture again and do it 2 more times. So super easy. Adele took a spirit walk into the Star Cavern to see if she could glean anything, but unfortunately no real aura or anything made itself known, so that didn't really help too much. Let's see, what else? I know you guys all received letters at the end of the last session. Well, at least Atris, Adele, and Walter received letters. Atris finding out that her brothel back home has been under attack by Setites, and that they seem to be targeting members of her clan. There is Adele, who found out that her cousin from her mortal days seemingly is still in existence, unbeknownst to her, and is very interested in reconnecting. And Walter, who can't read, had his letter read to him by Liam, and found out that the Gatling gun that Josephine has been constructing for you guys is ready to go and inspect.
Yay.
I always get the good news.
So with the plans coming together and things about ready to set off, we jump back into tonight's session of Tumbleweeds and Tombstones.
And Waya got to talk to
That is
Beckett.
right. Waya, who's having his own side mission
I
here,
exist. Woo.
did find Beckett in a small town in Mexico, having a meeting with someone that Waya did recognize on a wanted poster. On a Walter poster. Some kind of secretive meeting, seeming to hire some kind of protection for some kind of job Beckett wants to do, and seeming that this woman and her crew were the hired muscle for whatever they were looking to do. Seeing Waya, he did his audible sigh. Waya explained that they needed some help, and he agreed to meet with him the following evening nearby. Now we will jump into tonight's session. So, everyone at the homestead, you just received your letters. You just received word that the Gatling gun is ready for viewing. Standing in the room with you is also Bartleby. Bartleby and Henry are also there. And Asmodeus is somewhere on the property.
So David and I just kind of finished up. I don't know why he wasn't in the room, but he doesn't know the gun is ready yet.
He was just out like doing target practice and things like that. He wasn't in the room, and that was the only reason why he didn't go running to Josephine's first to ogle the gun. So yeah, you guys are there in the homestead with this information before you. What do you do?
Come on, guys. We gotta go see it. It's time. You know how long we've been waiting for this. Elizabeth would be so happy.
What the wrong time?
I'm so happy.
The last time I knew someone else was excited about this, it took 9 months.
Waya, through Walter's excitement, feels a disturbance in the force.
Way out there. That blood brother tingle.
These things can shoot like 30 bullets a second. That's a lot of bullets, man. I can't even shoot that many a second.
Okay,
And I got 2 hands.
well, let's go. Everyone else know?
Let's go. I'll go ahead and cloak us and silence us across because we do have our lovely friends wanting to hunt us out there. But hopefully we'll be able to outrun them.
Although we may want to tell our guest what we're doing before we go into abject silence.
What do we have to?
We don't have to tell them why we're going. We just need to tell them that we're going.
And I suppose the silence will help us on the way.
Me and my puppy will be staying behind today.
You
you guys bring it home for us.
We might be using it on the way home.
Now, it's been a while, so I don't remember. I know that it's supposed to be mounted to our carriage hearse. Did we leave that at Josephine's, or do we have that currently?
You left it. You left
Okay.
it so
We
that
left
way
it with
she, as part of the project, could work on it in mounting it to the top of the vehicle.
Do we go by foot or do we ride?
I suggest we ride to get there as fast as possible.
Gotta pull the carriage back here somehow.
True, true.
I ain't pushing it. Are you?
No. Oh,
I'm
No.
riding up there with the gun, man.
Noah, your ghoul is just sitting there going, "Where are we all going?"
You're going to town. I need as many chickens as you can carry. Uncooked.
real quick, Noah. We have a lot of dead turkey vultures on the ground that got shot down by Asmodeus from last game that Bartleby was picking up.
Turkey vultures don't eat turkey vultures, I think. Need a pressure.
I'm pretty sure you actually moved that job from Bartleby to what? I'm sorry, Noah. What was your ghoul's name again? It's been
Jericho.
Jericho. That's
Jericho.
it. Jericho Crowley. That's it. Okay. Yeah. So he actually last time you had him cleaning up like the feathers and like there's a giant pile of feathers in the front. You want chicken, sir?
Meat. But chicken will probably be the cheapest to find around these parts.
All right. Y'all have some money for me to buy that with? I kind of gave you all everything I own on Earth.
Liam just gets out his purse, gives him a couple bucks. You know, should be more than enough to get a good amount of meat.
Right. All right. Well, I can bring y'all some chickens. I notice you don't have an ice box here. What do you want me to do with them when I get them?
Toss them about the yard.
We're decorating, are we?
That's a good one, Mr. Noah. That is a hoot. I'll go ahead and get your chickens for you, sir. And you see him start to head into town.
Oh,
Excellent.
no, she does not know.
All right, so is everyone minus Noah then riding over to Josephine's, or Noah, have you changed your mind and you're coming with?
Aegis will be
No,
going.
I'll stay behind.
Obviously, she's the one that has to ride the cover.
Unfortunately, Waya will not be there for the inaugural artillery gun thing. I guess it's not artillery. I don't know what the hell it is.
I mean,
No
it is
PTSD
artillery.
for you,
Yeah.
Waya.
Yeah. Okay. So, Atris, is there any role you have to do for your Cloak the Gathering?
Not for. Hang on 1 second. I just spent one my blood point for the silence when we went in, but let's see.
Asmodeus.
No, just
Liam
literally
walks outside.
every dot I have is covers a person of stealth, so that should be enough to cover. I have 4 dots in stealth, so.
Okay. Cool. Make your
yeah.
blood spend and okay, cool.
Well,
Asmodeus,
What?
we're gonna
We got
run an
news for ya.
errand.
Where?
None your business.
It's literally my business.
We're just going to the smith.
Who?
The smith. The blacksmith.
Okay, fine. Pick up some whiskey.
We'll bring you back something you'll like, I promise.
Oh no, he dumb. That was a 1. So he does not guess what that is about, and so he's just like, "Did you hear me about the whiskey?"
Sorry, bye.
Imagine his
God
body
damn
gets
it!
cut off by the silence cone.
Okay, you all go. Once again, Atris, her ability extends out. You all feel that while you can kind of tell where each other are, be, it's that weird predator shimmer thing. And you guys, and then Kona Science, again, kind of eerie. The horses are at least kind of used to it by this point of not being able to hear anything. And you make your way into town, or do you go straight through, or do you go around the outskirts?
I mean, with the cloaks target, I think logic dictates we would want to do the most straightforward path just so we wouldn't lose each other.
All right, you make it through town. Takes you about half an hour or so to get into town from the farm, but you make it through. You notice that there are more businesses that are open. You notice a little bit more repairs have been done. Again, it's very much a replacing things a board at a time, and everything has already been sealed up as far as weatherproofing everything for the winter. But now you notice that there's a little bit of the lumber that's being used for a little bit more flourish, a little bit more paint. The town is slowly but surely starting to rebuild itself. Now that the majority of the pandemic seems to be over, you notice a little bit more foot traffic. You notice a little bit more of the saloons and places like that open. You hear a little bit more laughter. Kind of, you're getting the idea of people feeling the need with all the death and destruction to celebrate a little bit and little steam off. You make it through town without issue. As you start to make it to Josephine's, everybody go ahead and give me a alertness roll. I know. How dare I make you roll dice in this game?
Damn, 0.
3.
Okay. 0, 3, 3.
Am I alerting with them?
You're not with us, are you?
You're not with them, so thus you are not alerting.
You can alert all over the house you want.
You can alert if standard difficulty. And yeah, you can alert if you want to. You can alert your friends behind.
We did leave our friend behind.
Several, in fact.
So many people on mute.
Okay. So I'll say Adele, Noah.
Did Adele roll a 4?
She did.
Oh, okay. Couldn't hear.
Adele, Walter, and Liam, you notice as you're approaching Josephine's home, on the perimeter of that fence that she has built with the runes and everything else, you notice what looks like scratch marks, like almost like an animal has been digging around the perimeter, gives up, and then goes somewhere else. You've seen
on the walls or the gate, or like the ground?
On the ground, like the snow and dirt has been disturbed relatively recently, like since in the last 24 hours.
Shit, they're coming right up to her doorstep. Oh, no one hears that. I don't even hear myself say that. In fact, I sound like...
So it just says no clue what you guys just saw. She's like, no.
It was then that Walter realized his internal monologue was not external.
Atris, I'll say that you're more like focused on the horizon and seeing if anything's approaching, and because of that, you miss the smaller details of what's closer in. Noah, while they're gone, are you doing anything particular while you're alone in the homestead?
I was going to twiddle my thumbs, but now that you mention it, I would like to make a nice cover for the hole in the floor.
So you want to try and like fill the hole kind of thing?
Not fill, just cover.
Okay, so like you're looking to like
nice
getting
door.
Okay. Go ahead.
Jericho did bring him back some lumber last game. Not
True.
a lot, but some.
Go ahead and give me a Dex plus Craft roll.
What is your crafting ability there, Noah? Out of curiosity.
I hoped you wouldn't ask. It's 0.
Okay, so it's going to be difficulty 7 then.
Yeah,
Really hoped you wouldn't ask.
it's literally
Oh no, my fan just blew him around. I might have to re-roll that.
Your hair is blowing majestically right now.
Oh, you
Easy,
can
breezy,
witness it.
beautiful. Dex crafting.
I got 2.
Okay. You're able to saw out a relatively decently shaped hole circle that fits what you were digging over. It's not a perfect fit. It's not perfectly like flush, but it's well enough that it is suffice. All right, everybody else, you approach Josephine's gate.
Just because Liam's kind of gotten used to this, essentially he's going to ring the doorbell by just poking the barrier, like boom, 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 boom.
You see the ripples of energy kind of just wave out over it, and it takes a couple of minutes, and you see Josephine actually come out from her forge, and she is just covered in soot and dirt, and like she's been working. Like you can see a little bit in the moonlight, a glisten to her skin of the sweat on her brow as she's wiping. She smiles and you see her mutter something. There's a little flash and you get the idea that you guys can enter now.
Did she just flash us?
Adrian's will at this point drop her obfuscate and the silence of death just to make sure she's visible to Josephine.
I've waved around a bunch, but yeah, and like knocked to break my invisible section of that. Hey, if I look at her, does she look drained or tired to me?
Perception plus empathy.
Is it empathy?
Yeah.
I was so ready for this, and then I had to roll more dice. 4.
Walter, I'll say with the special bond that you two have shared, you are very alert to her physicality and how she's holding herself. She doesn't look like she's in danger of collapsing or anything like that, but she definitely looks like someone that has maybe gotten through on coffee, whiskey, and very little sleep over the last few nights, and has probably pulled in a couple of almost all-nighters. She definitely has been working hard.
Shit, you've been busy, huh?
Well, hun, this is a tall order, and I had to make sure that I delivered. Couldn't let you all down.
I'm gonna let myself in, and speaking of deliveries, I'm gonna pull that nice whiskey that Walter stuffed in his bag a few games ago that we got from some bar or whatever, and hand that to her.
Now, hun, you sure know how to treat a girl. And she pops the cork and actually takes a swig of it, and she's like, now that's smooth. But I don't think y'all came all the way just to have drinks. I think you wanted to come and see what I have set up for you in the back.
Oh, yes. As lovely as you are, I would love to see what you have created for us.
Oh, do I?
All right, well, come on. Let's go look at it. She leads you guys actually around and behind where the forge is. And there you see it. It's your guys' carriage, the black carriage with the crimson curtains on the inside, the little bit of etching on the glass that it looks almost like frost in a decorative way, but up close that that's actually almost microscopic sigils that have been carved in that are the light dampening things. the carved figures on the sides of the carriage holding up the corners. And there you see mounted on top of it in iron and silver combination, this seat in a pivot with a pivoting swivel to it.
Swivels?
It swivels. With a barrel on this thing that is about 5.5, 6 feet long. And it has about 6 or actually about 8 barrels that go in around it. Each capped, as you get closer, you notice each one is capped with a silver wolf's head that looks a lot like Sonoy. And on the sides, the bracers that hold the actual barrel to the pivoting turret are actually silver stallions that have been, they're not like 3D or anything. It's very much just the shape of it, but they've been put on. And
now you're just showing off.
Well, hun, form does follow function. And then you do notice by the side of it, there is actually a little box that has a little bit of silver inlay on it. It's a black leather box with silver inlay. And it's about, and you realize that that is to hold the shell casings that feed into this thing. Well, what do y'all think? Don't leave a girl waiting.
I have not been pleasured by a woman like this for decades, and you certainly know what you're doing, my good dear.
Now, I didn't just add all these frills for looks. I figured with what y'all are facing, you don't want it that they can easily tear this thing apart on you. So what I did was I made sure that the silver used a little bit more. Had to, I'm afraid. But it means that if they try and touch this thing, it's going to hurt them to do it.
Nice.
If they try and touch this thing when I'm nearby, it'll hurt them a lot more. That thing's a beaut.
Don't I know, hun? Now,
Have you fired this?
well, of course
Yeah.
I have to test my own work.
Or are you going to? Should we try it out for ourselves? I mean, Walter. I mean, I assume you.
If y'all are gonna test it out, might I please at least request that that little trick of yours, hun, and she gestures at Atris, maybe throw that up so that way the sheriff and all the marshals don't come in and wonder what the hell I'm doing out here.
Walter barely pauses as he's already climbing into the seat to look back and listen to this.
Wait. I know you're excited. Do you have a chain that is not silver so we don't waste the good stuff right away? Since we are only testing it in here.
A chain?
A chain of bullets. It's
Yes.
Let me see what I thought of that ahead of time, and that's actually what's loaded in there right now, just because I knew y'all would want to give it a shot, but I figured, well, even for you, Mr. Deep Pockets, and she looks at Liam, I figure wasting silver might not be the best thing.
usually not.
All right.
We need a good target. We need a good target to shoot. I want to see what this does to an area. Kind of.
I got you, hun. And Josephine stops for a minute. She's muttering something under her breath, and eyes glow that blue energy. You've seen it before as she slams her fist into the ground to the part where it sinks down to about her wrist. And you see the blue energy kind of spider its way out into the field about 30 yards, 40 yards out there, as these like clay mannequins kind of pop up in various locations.
I'll call this one Tara and this one Kata.
Oh, you had to be on some kind of pot to come up with those names.
All right, so let me look up the stats for this thing real quick.
Yeah, that would
I love that our Gatling gun has a character sheet.
help. Does it have etiquette?
Okay, let's see. Since we have some bad clay puns, let's. I'll name this one Clay Aiken.
That one's leaving me aching.
I'll call this one Adobe.
What do we name this gun? Maybe we could name this gun Etiquette. It keeps others in line.
Oh, that is by far the best name I've heard in a while.
There you go. I'm not opposed to that.
Keep him acting real proper. Walter plops his ass in the seat and kind of sits back in it.
How's the cushion?
What's a cushion? Walter just kind of swivels around.
Liam just starts kind of going through his bag because he was prepared for this, and he's got like this really nice like red ribbon. Like, Adele, do you know how to fashion a bow?
I think I can manage. I was pressing spacebar, but I had the chat window up, so it was just doing space. I think I can manage a bow.
I just handed Adele this sash that I brought on purpose for this event. Space.
I imagine these clay figures off in the distance are like looking like saguaro cacti or something. It's really crude Running Man cartoonish type.
Oh, so this she does what she now. This is the 58 caliber bullet, so this is gonna give you all about 200 shots per minute. So you guys actually, let's see, Walter, you specifically have been in the military. Go ahead and give me an int plus firearms roll, please.
I also have technology and maxed out firearms. I care about this a lot. Well, let's see if the dice agree with that statement. I got 2 on that roll actually. Unless, no, it's 2.
Okay, so you are aware, because this has been around since about 1862, so you've been keeping up to date with like what's been going on. At this point, there are 2 basic versions of the Gatling gun. There's the 58 caliber, which it has fewer bullets per minute, but it's going to be doing a lot more damage to it. And then there's the smaller caliber that can do, that's the one that can do like 500 shots per minute or something, like it's something ridiculous, but it's a smaller, it's basically like firing a pistol a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, that's the ridiculous part.
So she goes on to explain it. You see the crank there where you feed this thing through. I'm going to give this to you guys now. If you want to write it down in your notes, go ahead, but I'll actually send you guys later on. I actually have something typed up that's like the stats and everything else.
Sure. I'm typing this in all caps, don't worry.
So it can do, so let's see, let me pull it up.
Meanwhile, I'm just helping Adele with the bow.
Oh my god.
No idea what you're saying, Sean.
500 shots a minute.
There we go. So without using celerity, it does 4 shots per turn.
Okay. Of which of the big caliber?
Yeah, it's only going to be the 1 caliber because it's one type of gun. Like it's not.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Like she made it as the big caliber gun kind of thing.
Right on.
You would have to get a whole separate Gatling gun made if you wanted the one that does more shots. But so it's 4 shots per round.
Yes, we have 1 Gatling gun, but what about second Gatling gun?
Exactly. And they do 7 damage each. So for each one, you're rolling
Excellent.
7 die.
Yeah.
Same rules apply as far as the bullets go. It's lethal damage until it is, unless you're using the silver against werewolves, in which case it's ag damage. However, what it does also need is there's a cool off period to it where you also then have to feed in a new thing. So after the second 4-shot round, it takes a full turn to load it in, and then another turn. So it takes 2 turns to cool down. That's kind of like the trade-off of this thing. It basically takes 1 turn to cool off, 1 turn to reload in the next belt of bullets.
Reloading takes 1 full action.
Correct.
You said celerity, so I can just like crank extra hard and get more shots out of a turn?
Correct, but there's still the turn for the it's still the load capacity kind of thing. So like, for example, you get 4 shots with
it's like 8 shots or whatever.
So basically you would get 8 shots in with a celerity action.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage.
But that's why there's the basically 2 turn for the reload and the cooldown. That's the making it fair, so that way this thing isn't broken.
Since when do we need things fair?
Josephine wouldn't give us a broken Gatling gun, would she?
Nope. And for the record, difficulty to shoot this thing though is 8. Like that's its standard difficulty.
Oh wow.
Because 1, it's pivoting, and 2, these things weren't meant to be like sharpshooter. These things are spray a area with bullets.
Yeah, the aiming is probably an issue.
Right. And that's why it's difficulty 8, because it wasn't meant to aim, it was meant to just be a hail of bullets. Yeah. You do, and so logic would dictate that if you don't have certain proficiency bonuses, difficulty might be increased if the carriage is actually in motion. Because how these things were normally built, they were on wheels almost like cannons were, and you just aim them in a certain direction and sprayed the bullets in that direction.
Essentially, we have the same concept within our carriage.
Yeah, so you can park the carriage and then pivot to get different areas, but if the carriage is in motion and you're shooting, logic would dictate that the difficulty might go up just because you're adding then the carriage bouncing and moving while you're trying to spray these bullets at everyone.
Excellent. Oh, excellent.
Okay, now how pretty of a bow did Adele and I make?
Because you now asked that, I'm going to make you each roll for it. So roll for Dex and Craft. I will say difficulty is 5 because you're tying a bow, not painting the Mona Lisa.
I have 0 in craft.
Difficulty 6 for you. Standard difficulty for you.
A character should really learn to craft something.
Well,
Neither one of you can we hear.
Just
Adele was just saying that she has nothing in craft either, so she is
so we still
also
get
good.
1 dice in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have decks, so
Yeah, so just roll your dex.
Yeah.
You both have some measure of dex.
Including my celerity,
Yeah.
that means I have 7 to roll for dex.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Are you?
I was putting my finger there just so we can.
Oh, you didn't roll yet though, so we don't know if you're good. That's what these rolls are all about.
That's what it's all about.
Excuse me.
Hello?
I got 7 successes.
Oh. Is that
I
all?
got,
Plus my 2.
I got 3 10s, one of those re-rolled into an 8, and another 10. And so, and another 10, and then the other 10 re-rolled into an 8. So I'm good.
Is she
Now,
good?
y'all-
Was that enough successes?
You all have seen bows before, but my God, this ribbon on this thing is something to behold. All right, so Josephine goes, well, honey, just going to sit there and stare at it, or are you going to fire it?
Atris will wait for a Walter signal. On your mark, I will give you. I'll do the thing, and we'll silence you.
Well, you can't just shove it in with no foreplay. And Walter waves at Atris.
Okay.
Walter's gonna lean forward, point this thing at the leftmost target and start cranking and swiveling slowly to the right.
Are you going to do all 4 shots against that one target?
I'm hoping to kind of mow these down. How many
Okay.
targets are we talking here? Like,
There's about 5 or 6 kind of scattered about.
wonderful. So I'm just gonna take 2 turns and go for it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll 7 dice 8 times.
Oh my God!
Oh, is that all?
Oh, I guess I didn't really think about this. Do I?
And just give me the math of the total number of successes.
Sean, I'm gonna program a dice roller for this.
I think that's a smart
day.
idea.
Yeah.
But I could actually literally just use the one I made, but I'm gonna roll these. Don't worry, it won't be that long. 1,
Did you
2,
say
3.
7 dice 8 times?
That is indeed what I said, Waya.
Oh, I'm just gonna. You know what? Here, we're gonna type it in our handy dandy chat window and just accumulate them as they go. There.
Space.
Space. Play a little bit of Portal 2 and it got to me, okay. Oh my god, that's another 10. That's not another 10. This can't possibly go badly. This is all good. No one can hear this. Well.
Oh, by the way, guys, I did see one note that I wrote down that I forgot to mention. If at any time during the shots the roll is a bot, so like for each of the 7 dice rolls, if at any time it's a botch, like as in like an actual botch where you got more 1s than successes, it means the gun jams and it stops any additional, like it's going to take a full round to unjam it.
I do not like consequences.
These aren't even my to hit rolls. I just assume in the interest of accelerating this scene, we're not trying to roll all the hit rolls. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're dodging. Jeez, it's a lot of 10s. Okay. One more.
No, Clay Aiken.
I don't think Clay Aiken's surviving this one. I'm sorry. 3, 4. All right. 3, so that puts us at 7, 12, 13, 21, 26. 33, 36 total. 36 damage. Is that
Okay, so go ahead
okay?
and go ahead and roll 36 dice. No, that was the damage. Sorry.
That was damage.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys don't hear anything, but you just see Walter with the biggest smile and shitting grin on his face as he's just living his best life, like Rocket Raccoon over here, as he's cranking this thing, and you see the flash of the bam, 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 bam without hearing anything, as it just pulverizes these earth mannequins, turning them into dust, just blowing through them, mowing them down. Some of them, their heads explode. Some of them are like cut in half by bullets as the top half slumps down from the rest of it, kind of thing. Others with their legs blown out from underneath them. And then he finally, all the shell casings hitting the ground, piling up to the side of the carriage, and he stops, and you just see smoke coming out of the barrels, and it looks really cool because it looks like it's pouring out of the wolf heads that are capped onto each barrel as the smoke just pours from their mouths.
Liam is going to step just outside of where he thinks the cone of silence is, and just be like, "Does anyone else want a cigarette?" I know fire bad, but damn.
Like if Aegis gets an indication that Walter's touched, he's gonna still drop the cone of silence.
It's already smoking. This thing can smoke enough for all of us.
Oh,
Walter pats it lovingly.
It touches my heart.
Whew, well, I'm glad y'all like it. Definitely was a sure bit of work. And then she hefts this giant case and slams it, puts it down on the ground, and opens it up. And inside, you guys see an entire thing of just silver 58 caliber bullets.
I imagine like the moonlight reflecting off of them.
Mm-hmm. The moonlight and the snow just glowing on them, making them look like the shining effervescent white. She tells you that there's 80 rounds in here. That's what she had left to make with the silver that you gave her. So for the sake of the gun, that's 10 rounds that you got of silver bullets out of this thing.
Wait. What? Was it 80 rounds or 10 rounds?
80 rounds.
It was 80 rounds.
Right, combat rounds. Okay.
It was 80 rounds, but that gives you 10 combat rounds, essentially.
You just assume I'm going to use celerity every time. You're probably right.
Liam's going to look around and see if PETA is around anywhere.
He came out, he saw the flashing. You see him, again, kind of gingerly coming out. And he's kind of just leaning against her forge, and he's watching this.
Liam's just going to go over to him. Oh. So.
He nods as you come up.
How are you feeling?
Better than I was. The healing is slow, but in the right direction.
Well, that's positive news, at least.
Quite the machine she built for you.
To be fair, the intent when we asked for the plans wasn't for what we think is about to happen. It just kind of worked out that way. The hope is that we won't have to use it, but if your friends are as intent as we think they are, it might be necessary as a deterrent.
Someone's going to want to fight us. We just want to be ready for it.
How much Mercury tried to avoid it. He always knew that war seems to be inevitable in all creatures. It seems to be in our nature. Seems we have to kill to bring about peace. Well, I'm ready to ride when you all are. You just let me know.
We are going to be taking our new toy back to our homestead. We have a rather interested party who will get quite a joy of seeing it, and we are waiting for a significant member of our party to return home with hopefully good news, but gives you more time to heal.
Well, let me know. I'll make myself ready. And
I'm just curious. I know we spoke a bit about some of the other chieftains and their goals, but if you could draft up something for me about which chieftains might be a bit more receptive to peace talks.
I figured on the ride over there, I'll describe each of the chieftains and where their goals align.
That'll be most appreciated.
He nods and he kind of limps his way back in, very much depicting himself as he's not trying to show weakness, but his body's kind of outing him a little bit. In the meantime, Josephine walks up to you, Liam, and goes, "Well, hon, the gifts keep on coming. I was able to come up with 2 other little gifts of what little silver I had left with." And she hands you 2 little capsules that are about softball sized with holes in them and what looks like a pin, like a grenade.
Are these what I think they are?
Now you pull that pin and you toss it, and it will release a bit of a silver mist, if you will. And that should be rather uncomfortable for your canine friends. So you have 2 silver mist grenades.
Oh my.
They affect a 10-foot radius. And any lupines or anyone who is allergic to silver in that area suffers 2 ag damage for up to 3 rounds until they move out of that area.
Nice.
For anyone not allergic to silver, they actually do 2 lethal just because of the explosion part of it. There is a little bit of shrapnel involved in it.
Just like an immediate 2 lethal?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
They can try and, absorb it, but it's a guaranteed 2 lethal where you don't have to roll for it. Same thing for the ag damage.
All right, got it.
Well, hun.
Toys.
Well, Hans, I hope this helps, and I hope you come back to me safely.
Walter, with great effort, removes his hands from the Gatling gun and swings down and walks straight up to her with a single tear in his eye and just hugs her.
Okay, spend the blood for blood tear. She gives you a hug back and squeezes your ass a little bit, and then
I do spend that blood, by the way. I'm not bullshitting.
Like, it's just too much happiness.
You can thank me later.
That's my blush of health.
Yeah. All right, y'all. You have something to prepare for. You stay safe. Those critters have been sniffing around the property lately, and they've just been itching for an excuse to try and get in here.
Yeah, we saw that. They're digging around your fence. They're rooting around here. You're aware of them then?
Oh yes, they're aware of me too, and trust me, they're not going to like what they find if they keep sniffing around.
Just and it's not even a suggestion. It's more of a just so you're aware. Our new rather ripe smelling companion has decided that he would like to excavate some of the underneath of our homestead, just for safety precautions and whatnot. But we may need a little assistance, either reinforcing it or getting some of the large stones away. But we've also acquisitioned, in addition to your property, a third property in the stand of the old Crowley home. So might be having a small network in the outer part of the town.
That sounds like an interesting challenge, but the first thing I'm going to do is work on this bottle. And she shakes the bottle that Walter gave her.
No, nothing soon. Just more of a, this is kind of coming down the pipeline.
I'll keep my eye on things. Make sure he doesn't tear up the place too much. You all be careful. I mean that. If you don't come back, I'll kill you myself.
Did we tell her we're already dead?
Since she watched the opening of the channel, she smiles and she actually goes around to each of you and gives you each a hug. She gives Atris a nice, good hug. She gives Adele a nice, tight hug, and Liam. She
wait. Would you dip me?
Sure, hon. And she sits there and dips you down like a fancy lady, and then for good measure drops you.
I love you. I love you so much. You're amazing.
It's just it feels right.
It was good for me too, hon. She gives you a hand to pull you back up and lifts you back up and kind of gives a half hug, and she says, y'all watch out for yourselves. I don't want to have to try and find new clients.
You're one of the good ones, Josephine.
Don't you know it, hon? She gives you a wink.
Back to the homestead, everyone. Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Although, unfortunately, we'll not be able to cloak this whole thing. We're basically going to have to ride fully exposed with this.
Oh, I can cloak myself.
Are you sure? I mean, looks might stir up some questions.
Josephine goes, I suggest you ride outside of town back to the homestead, but ride fast in case those critters are still sniffing about.
Yeah, just FYI, Atris' ability can only cover people, not carriages. That's why it's kind of useless in this instance.
If Atris is sure, she's sure. Walter doesn't know shit.
Then never mind.
You have like a blanket we can throw over the barrel here while we're riding back?
Sure, I got a couple of riding blankets in the barn. I'll get it for you. And she brings them out.
Yeah, I'm gonna not, cover the open end of the barrels, but the sides of them, so that they're not. That whole apparatus
looks like you're
is not
hauling
super visible.
awkward amount of like cargo, like on the top kind of thing.
And I'm gonna look around at everyone and say, "Giddy up!"
Cool.
That's right.
Shifting down south to Mexico way. Waya.
Yep.
Our long lost owl.
Do you do anything else after you met with Beckett before the meeting the following night, or do you just wait it out?
I found someone to feed on.
You did.
Yep.
Nom nom nom.
Num num num.
How many blood points did you take from them?
2.
Okay. So they're passed out, but they'll recover.
Yep.
Okay. Other than that, do you just wait out the intended meeting?
Yeah, for the most part, maybe walk around town a little bit, just kind of like take in the surroundings for a day.
All right. Looking for anything in particular, or just kind of looking around?
Looking around, anything. Yeah, nothing too particular. I'm just kind of.
The town seems to be mostly an outpost of sorts. There is a military encampment that you see of the Mexican army. You did hear that this was kind of the place where you went to meet Beckett was kind of the watering hole of the locals and the militia and things like that. And it seems very much a bare bones kind of town. Like there's the outpost and a well that is good because there's not a whole lot of water elsewhere in this particular part of Mexico. And you see the walls of the barracks and the fort, and you get the idea that a lot of the supplies are in there. There's the cantina that you just were at, that seems to be the main source of entertainment, and then a couple of houses scattered here and there of like locals that don't seem to be part of the militia.
Yeah, sounds like I'll just kind of buy my time, make sure I feed when I can, so I can make the trip back.
Okay. How far down are you, blood-wise?
Let me recap. I am down by 4 now.
Okay. I mean, if you want to give me another are you going to be hunting someone? Are you going to be trying to finagle someone? Like, how are you going to go about trying to get more blood?
I figure I'll probably go hunting or something, more so during the nighttime.
People or animals?
I ain't trying to get in any trouble. It'll probably just be animals.
Okay. I'll say I'll give you another 2 blood points.
That's fine.
If you spend the rest of the night doing that, you're able to find some game. It's hard during winter, but you're able to find some things.
Yeah, I don't want a frenzy on the way back. So.
Yeah. Okay, so you go to bed. Where do you? I assume you find coverage either using your melding earth meld or something like that.
If I could pay for a room, it'd probably be better than spending the blood.
Yeah. You go to the cantina. You know that they have rooms there.
I triple pay for the room. I drop more money than I probably should on the counter.
Now here's the one problem. You've got American money. You're in Mexico.
Oh shit.
Oh,
and
okay.
Not that they ever were, but Mexico and America aren't really like on the best of terms right now.
What? part of Waya just thinks that like maybe if he pulls out more money, they'll accept it.
So okay, you just go up to this. Now remember, the bartender is this heavy-set guy, balding, full beard, and he's looking at you, and you just start slapping down American dollars in the thing, and he looks at you, and you just keep on slapping down more, and money, 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 money. He remembers you before, so he knows that you don't speak Spanish, and he looks at you and goes, No. Do you have anything to trade for the night?
Will I get it back the next night?
No. Stupid though.
I mean, I have a knife, and I'll just like pull a knife out of a sheath, and I'll just put it on the table.
Okay, so you're not like brandishing a knife.
No. I unsheath it and I put it on the table as a bargaining tool.
All right. Give me a charisma.
Ooh, yikes.
Plus. I'm trying to convince him. So I think it would be a good one for this one. Charisma plus expression. Let's do that.
Zero.
I have plenty of knives, essay.
You like pelts? I can bring you back an animal pelt.
Now that's something I could work with. All right, how many are we talking and what kind of animal?
Well, I only need one night, and I don't know, not really from around here. What's really native here that you could really find?
Well, if you want to hunt hare, I could go for give me 5 rabbit pelts. I could do that. Or bring me back a deer and we'll call it a night.
One deer?
One
Sounds
deer.
fair.
The meat and the pelt.
Sounds fair.
You have a deal.
I spit in my, well, can't really spit, right? I guess I'll just shake his hand.
Okay. It's all right. Not that everyone knows the custom.
I'm not from around here.
So you have stated.
That's all you need,
right.
a spitty, bloody handshake.
Right.
With that, I guess I have something I will do now.
Yeah. Okay. So give me a Dex plus survival roll.
Okay. That I can do. Dex survival is very...
Difficulty is going to be 7, just because it's nighttime in winter and deer usually aren't just like running around at that time.
You know where they are? On the road.
Right.
6 successes.
No problem. No deer can hunt from hide from Waya.
I feel like I just walk out of the building and just like turn and walk one direction.
Right, the deer just like
find a deer.
You just walk out with your blade out and a deer walks into it, kind of thing. Like,
it jumps into my axe. Huh? They told me that would happen around here.
It jumped into your axe. It jumped into your axe 5 times.
And then I'll put it on my back and I'll carry it back to town. Put it right outside the tavern building, walk back in. Like, well, I have your deer.
I'll say you were only gone for like a half an hour. And the guy's like, ah. But you seem sincere, so he gets up and he walks over. And he's
if he doesn't believe me, I'll walk out, grab the deer, and walk back in with the deer.
Okay, you walk back in with this bloody deer.
Yeah, if he doesn't believe me, I'll make him believe me.
All right, where do you put it?
I'll put it on the countertop.
Bam! 400 pounds of venison just. Okay. Put it out back.
I'll take it out back. And then I will, well, pleasure doing business, sir.
You seem to like wiping the deer blood off of the bar top kind of thing.
And I will go and retire to my room.
He starts barking orders that he has a younger kid that kind of seems to be like his like bar back that's helping him out kind of thing. And he tells him to go. He starts talking to him in Spanish, and you don't understand what the hell's going on, so you're fine. And sure enough, he tells you which room, and he lets you know. And I mean, it's very simple. Like you got the idea from when like Beckett was here. This is a place for people that are trying to like either military guys that are trying to let off some steam, or people that are looking not to be found, kind of thing. It's not exactly a cultural hub, but it's a very simple iron bed, like wrought iron for the bed frame, bed springs, blanket, and like a chair in there. It's pretty bare bones.
No pillows for you.
I'll use the blanket in the bed. If there's a window, put it up against the window to stop the sunlight or whatever.
Yeah, you've had to do this before in your past. You feel that's pretty well sun covered. Even so, you could probably even move the bed in such a way that even if a little sun leaked through, you're not in the direct way of it.
And I'll spend the rest of my day thinking about the knights. I think they were knights or whatever they were that I saw at the mine. And
they look like knights. I mean, they were in full plate armor and everything. So
I'll think about them and just the name that I heard, Copperfield, and try and replay it through my memory. And
Sir Reginald and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just kind of replay that in my head while thinking about my gang and just pass the time until Beckett comes or until I go see Beckett.
Okay. Daytime finds you. You sleep. You wake up. Spend a blood.
Yes.
The time comes for your clandestine meeting with Beckett.
Cool. And then I will go. First building, blue roof. Beckett is there tomorrow. Is what I wrote down.
Yep.
So I will go to the first building I see with a blue roof. Or no, he said it's 3 houses down, left, right, left. First building, blue roof.
And you go down, and sure enough, you see a little farm. Like it looks like a little house, a little farmstead kind of thing. It's
This
not
is why
exactly.
Notes are important.
Mm-hmm. And you notice that they have a chicken coop. It looks like they have kind of like a small makeshift barn, and you can hear like cows and sheep or goats and stuff like that in there. And it's a nice little adobe house with a blue roof. There's a tree in the front yard that's currently dead for the winter, but like you get the idea that it's just because it's winter time. It doesn't look like it's cursed or anything like that. And you do see a little bit of smoke coming out of the chimney of the place.
Well, looks like I found the right area. And I'll walk over to the door and give it a light knock.
You knock on the door, and there's a couple of minutes, and the wooden door opens, and there is a Hispanic woman. Looks like she's probably in her 30s-ish. Comes to the door. See?
I'm looking for somebody.
Okay.
Mondo?
About yay high, dark hair, kind of curly.
Oh no, Mr. Beckett, no here.
Yeah. Oh God.
You're the only one of us that could have made that joke.
Yeah,
so that's
right.
okay.
Only you.
She waits a moment, and she's looking you up, and you're used to this look. I mean, you're a 6-foot-tall, scarred-up Native American man, built like a brick shithouse that's just like towering over this woman. And you hear from the back of the house, "It's all right. It's all right. I invited him."
Yeah,
and
I'm with him.
Okay. And she lets you in, and she goes back to, she's cooking something, and you see at the table, you actually see there's a little kit. You walk in, it's very simple. It's a lovely home, very well kept, very clean. There is immediately to your right a small kitchen area with a fireplace, a table with a couple of chairs. There are 2 children at the table. And then a little area to the left that seems to be like the sitting area where there's a couple of more comfortable chairs and everything else. And then you notice a door to the left and a door to the right. And standing in the doorway of the door to the right, just past where the kitchen is, you see Beckett standing in the doorway. Well, I see you found the place.
Yeah, with your instruction, of course.
Good, you can listen.
Unlike some of my other members, yes, I can.
Indeed. Well, come on then. And he kind of nods into the back room.
I will follow in. So, laying low in, I guess, obvious ways, I suppose. Is this someone's home?
Yes, Marisol here. She lends out the room from time to time to make a little extra money for her family. I took advantage of that and have already paid her for a month's rent.
Well, this place seems to run off business, not necessarily going off the top, I suppose, and a little bit of shady dealings in this area.
Well, that is true for many places. You'll often find, my friend, that those with little means of their own do what they can to survive.
I know that all too well. Now, the reason I'm here, and I'll if there's like a chair, I'll take it and flip it backwards.
You look in the room. There is a bed, a little bit actually nicer than the one that you stayed the night in. A dresser that has a wash basin on it, and what looks like a little writing desk. And you notice, kind of sprawled everywhere, hung up on the walls and everything, are maps of different locations. You see Beckett with about 5 or 6 different journals open up on the writing desk. There is a oil lantern there that he's using for light. It definitely seems that he's in the middle of working on something. You see his backpack and satchel there on the floor by the bed, and all kinds of notes in multiple different languages, most of which you do not recognize, and most of the maps being of places that you're not particularly familiar with.
So, who was those, the 2 you were with the day I saw you at the tavern?
Them. They're means to an end. When we first met, I was currently working on a project, and I have come, for the first time in many years, a couple steps closer to succeeding in that project. And let's just say that the next step might involve a little bit of protection as I poke around, and so I needed a little bit of extra muscle to ensure things go smoothly for me.
Well, knowing you wouldn't hire some lackluster muscle.
I do my research.
As I see. Who is it? Gangs have to know their enemies.
Are you looking to make enemies with someone down here?
No, but knowing the competition does make it a little easier.
I'm sure you're aware of, they've made some type of name of themselves. They have been moving up into the Satin Hearts gang.
Interesting. I had my thoughts, but confirmation is nice.
I doubt that that's very much the reason you're here and why you sought me out.
Definitely not. It's mainly just me being curious. But the reason I'm here is a little bit more complicated. Short way to explain it would be that we, as in my gang, are currently being framed for the murder of a werewolf leader.
At this point, he takes off his gloves, and you see his exceptionally hairy hands and the permanent claws that he has as he just rubs something
Well,
with you.
Good news is we're all alive. bad news is we actually didn't kill him, and we have to find a way to write our names or figure out how to deal with this that doesn't include murdering and genociding an entire nation of people. Now, as
he actually starts laughing at this point. I'm sorry. You're either very cocky or very stupid that you think that your group can take out an entire tribe of the Guru.
we have our ways. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm scared shitless myself, and I don't
Good.
feel,
You should.
I also don't want to murder my people, which is a little bit more meaningful than thrusting myself against the werewolves, if you ask me.
Waya, we've talked about this in the letter that I sent you. Those aren't your people. Not anymore. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you might actually exist for another couple decades.
Guess you're right. Besides the point, I came here with a little bit of a lead that I wanted to follow up with you, seeing as how you are a lot more knowledgeable than most of us. Orb of the Red Moon is an object we seek, whether or not you know about it.
You're going to roll his int and his occult. Nice. All right.
He has those, right?
Can I use my willpower for him?
Remember!
No. I give him a pep talk beforehand about remembering things.
Yes, I think I have actually heard of that. Seems to be a legendary weapon used against the lupines in order to stop them from being able to transform and keep them locked in whatever state they currently are in.
Excellent. I take it knowing of it and knowing where it might possibly be are two completely different things.
Indeed. I'm afraid my research has led me on a different object that I seek. And as I said, it's called legendary for a reason. There have been rumors about it, but as far as someone actually being able to find it, that would be a very labor-intensive process.
One that would require a lot of muscle, it would seem.
Muscle, time, and luck. Hopefully it actually exists and it's not just legend. In this line of work, you run into more dead ends than leads.
I could imagine. Digging around looking for answers leads to a lot of nothing sometimes.
I've spent my entire existence since my embrace doing so. Why is it important for you to pit yourselves against the lupines? Why not just leave the area?
We are given. We are grunts, one could say, following orders.
And
As,
go ahead.
I mean, as you need help from time to time, we were reached out to be the help. And even though things don't go necessarily the correct way we think sometimes, we bring results. Regardless if those results are clean or dirty.
Oh, trust me, I remember Sardo. They are very rarely clean.
However, it is just business. Nothing more.
Fair enough. I'm sorry, my friend. I don't have this object in my pocket, nor do I even know where to begin looking for it.
It's okay. I figured exhausting options before going a certain way would be the best way to approach this confrontation with the lichens.
And how does this bode for? Last we spoke, you were struggling with your identity. Have you made any headway on that?
Oh, it's been. There are a lot of things that have happened since our last meeting. Finding out that the death of my mother was caused by my frenzy, and that I am the sole reason she no longer exists. That is my fault.
Go ahead and give me a perception plus empathy roll.
Four successes.
He looks legitimately sympathetic when you tell him that. Like, it seems like he actually gives a fuck. And it seems earnest when he then says to you, "Where I am sorry. Our existence has been called many things. The dark gift, the dark kiss, the embrace. But many just call it for what it is, and it's a curse. It's each of our own individual yet collective curse to bear. Some of us can, some of us can't. Some choose to just walk into the sunlight and end it. You're still here, though. That means you can still choose what to do with this burden. I strongly recommend that you reach out to those of our clan. I will not say that there's a universal love between all of us. Some of us will stab each other in the back just as much to gain a foothold in something as look at each other. But the Gangrel know what it is to run in a pack. And lean on your friends. Some of them are idiots, but they seem to be loyal idiots. At least for the time being, and as much as any of us can be loyal to each other.
Walter's ears are burning somewhere.
He thinks for a minute. So you got 4 successes. Give me a charisma plus empathy roll.
Oh, shit. 3.
Damn. Okay, that's what you needed. Oh, I'm gonna regret this. And he goes into his case and he pulls out something, and it is a stone, perfectly circular and red. It's about this big, like a golf ball sized. I knew of lupine activity in the area when I was up there looking for Sardo, and I knew that I needed to protect myself. And unfortunately, I am not very blessed with an abundant amount of silver at the moment, nor have the means of lugging it around everywhere with me. So I picked up something in my travels that might be useful. I'm willing to give it to you, but you owe me, Waya. This is now the second time I'm saving. No, sorry, the third. It's hard to keep track with you all. This is the third time that I'm saving your skin in some regard.
Well, I can promise once our list of immediate dangers shortens, you will be the first person we pay back.
Good. Here, and he writes. You can read, can't you?
Yes, I can.
Oh, good. That's not a given with some of you. And he writes down something. You don't recognize the language, but you're able to. He at least, it's one of those things of he writes it out in the A to Z alphabet, but it's one of those things of so that way you can pronounce it out. And it's an incantation of some kind. Hold the stone, say the incantation, and throw it at a lupine. One lupine Waya. And they will revert back from whatever form they are in into their original form, whether that be human or wolf, however they were born. It will force them back into that form for a short period of time.
Wow, this is a truly powerful tool. How did you come across this? The ability to bend someone else?
Well, in our short time together, you probably haven't heard of me. I'm more well known in Europe, but I make it my career, my entire life's goal, as I told you before, to understand our creation and our existence. You learn a thing or two when you dig into the beginnings of our history and discover many old and forgotten places.
This is something that can turn the tide.
And so, Chad, for you, for the mechanics of this, you have to make a roll, and it is going to be a wits plus occult roll.
Oh, man.
The
Okay.
difficulty is 8, so you want to give it to someone who's good at this. And you need to have at least 2 or more successes. Just 2 successes means it lasts for 2 rounds. Any additional success beyond that makes it last for another round. Maximum, though, of 4 rounds. It won't last longer than 4 rounds. You throw it at a lupine, and whatever they were born, you found out from Henry that lupines are both born as wolves first and as humans first. It just depends on who the parentage was. Whichever form they're in, so if they're in their full battle form or if they're in that giant wolf form, you toss it at them, you say the incantation correctly, it reverts them back to their original, how they were born form for however many rounds up to the 4.
Okay.
And it's a single use item. Once you use it once, it's kaput.
Single use. Holy shit. Okay.
It's gonna be used on one person.
Well, thank you, Beckett. This is not necessarily what I came here for. This is something that can help a lot. And
Well, good. I'm glad. I hope it's worth the favor I'm going to ask later on. As you said, hired muscle is hard to come by.
if it's anything else like the favors we've done for our other kind around these parts, I'm sure it'll be quite the task.
Well, you're not wrong. But it might be worth your while. Anyway. Good luck. I hope you're not torn to shreds.
Me as well.
Though you probably will be.
A death on the battlefield with
Especially
my friend.
Liam.
I made a deal with Liam a long time ago. Nobody gets to kill him but me.
Well, then you better get to it fast, because I think other people are marching in order. But also, anything's about something goes, no, never mind. Don't worry about it. Survive this, and then we'll talk.
Well, then I look forward to our next meeting, Beckett, as I do every time we say goodbye.
It'll be entertaining, if nothing else. And he holds out his clawed hand.
I will shake his hand. And, well, even though you're off to go do your own adventures, you don't get yourself killed. All right?
That's the plan.
You know, you need hired muscle. I got all the muscle I need right here.
Not where you're going.
That's why we got red rocks, right?
Yes. Oh, dear God, they're going to die. Anyway, best of luck to you. I hope you do well. I'm sure it will be fine.
Oh, before I leave, one last thing.
Yes.
I saw these knights, or at least I believe them to be knights, on the way over here when I flew by the mountain that the elder is currently vacating. But they looked like holy warriors, but they were fanged. They were us, but they mentioned God.
Such things have been known in our histories. As a matter of fact, it was very prevalent in a couple centuries ago.
Oh God, what was it called? Please, come on, notes. A name of Peter Copperfield. Does that ring a bell to you?
Never heard the name, I'm afraid.
Gold chain with a black obsidian cross. Sir Reginald. Bat ears, boils, fangs. Full plate armor.
Reginald. Reggie the Rat?
Trust me, I thought that first, but the chances of all that lining up is...
No, it couldn't be him.
Wait, are we talking about our Reggie, or is this another...
What do you mean your Reggie? And that's where we're going to end things for tonight.
Oh my God, what a cliffhanger.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Because when you first said that, I was confused. I was like, did we ever tell him about what
Nope,
happened?
it never came up. You guys, you first met him with Sardo. It was long past the whole Reggie thing.
Oh,
like,
no.
It was after the stampede. Like,
yeah.
Dude, I'm so glad I remembered to bring this up because I almost walked out the door and didn't say anything about this. Holy shit.
All right, everybody. Sorry it had to be a short game. We promise the next time we play it will be a full game. It was good to see everyone again. Jeff, I promise Noah will get to explore all the things he wishes to the next time.
Or holes.
All the holes.
All the holes.
All the holes.
Also, we've got one other thing. We officially do have a Twitter page. So if you want to go ahead and follow us, that's at TumbleweedsTom1, but I will go ahead and put the @ in the description below. So please go ahead and follow that as well.
Awesome. Hey, we have a Twitter.
And
I twat often.
one quick thing. Didn't we reach a milestone recently? Did we want to talk about that?
We
did. We got 1,000 views. I am ecstatic.
1,000 viewers.
Wow.
Guys.
Thank you, everybody. That's kind of awesome.
And how long has it been? Only a few months?
Yeah.
We started just before St. Patrick's Day airing. So beginning of the year.
Yeah, less than a year. Wow. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you
everybody
to the people at home. Yeah.
Hopefully
it's not just all of us clicking on the page 100 times. But...
I can track that too.
Right.
Thanks for having us on your screens, inviting us into your homes. Nice place you got here. Really. You should maybe look at that wall and consider cleaning it, but it's pretty good.
Well, everybody, thank you so much. If you have enjoyed what we do, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your cats.
Shout us out on Twitter.
Yeah, there you go. We promise we will get back to regularly scheduled gaming now that lives are starting to get back in order. Next week is actually my birthday, so we'll try and see how we can work around that.
Stop being bored.
I'm sorry.
No.
But we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you again soon. And until then, keep your fangs and your wit sharp, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.